This is the new one about small talk. It's called Permanent Vacation. Haven't seen you in a long time, brother. My friend, how have you been? I can hardly recall the same last place we both were in. But look at us here now, the two of us. You've barely changed in the face. I almost didn't recognize the driveway. I like what you've done with the place. I'm sick and tired of these conversations. I'm in need and long overdue for a permanent vacation. I keep my routines and attention, and it's getting harder to speak and harder to keep my concentration. Looking for a place to discover somewhere off of the map. Getting lost in a maze that I've never been's the only thing that brings me back. To cleanse my palate, to lighten my wallet, to soften my point of view. I haven't seen you in a long time, brother. I can't say I missed you, that's the truth. I'm sick and tired of these conversations. I'm in need and long overdue for a permanent vacation. I keep my routines and attention, but it's getting harder to speak and harder to keep my concentration. Haven't seen you in a long time, brother. My friend, how have you been? I'm sick and tired of these conversations. I'm in need and long overdue for a permanent vacation. I keep my routines and attention, but it's getting harder to speak and harder to keep my concentration.
Welcome to another episode of Two Scoops. I'm your host, Stefan. This is my guest, Austin Nuckols. Hi. I was actually that was my first question, what's your name? But I gave it away. Yeah, tell me a little bit, where are you from? And,
From Frederick, born and raised. Been playing here for like 15 years.
Right on.
Been in a couple bands through those times.
Yeah.
Couple bands with my brothers when I was younger. Couple college bands.
Are you in any projects right now?
Yeah, I'm actually, I play bass for the Fun Boys. Shout out for the Fun Boys.
Fun Boys, hi.
Catch
We'll put
them.
we'll put like a little thing right here. It says Fun Boys.
You click on it.
Yes.
But then, then always, marching on with solo projects and things like that.
Right on.
Yeah.
Growing up, I'm sure you had some favorite bands. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I think my first album I remember probably buying was probably inspired, because of my oldest brother, but I remember Beastie Boys.
Right on.
Was a big one in the house. That was probably like the first musical phase I went through, was just Beastie Boys, a lot of Beastie Boys. Hip hop was pretty big, and then I think around in the high school, the whole punk rock thing happened.
Yeah.
So I had some people, like introduce me in like late middle school to like Dead Kennedys and
Right on.
the Vandals, stuff like that. So yeah, I mean,
Nowadays, it's like a lot of country, jazz. I don't know.
That's kind
Anything
of
I
like
can really get my hands on.
when I first heard it, it's kind of not weird to hear you come from a punk or like a rap background, because when I first heard you, you're doing very waltzy country stuff. But that's really cool.
I don't know. You know, there's like, in a way, I can't really. You know, there's obviously differences, but there's like, you know, certain like sort of lyrical deliveries and flows that like, you know, you combine a classical waltz with something more like melodically flowing. It's can be interesting.
Do you think there's any hip hop Beastie Boys that helps maybe with your writing? Do you have any of that influenced into your art?
Nah, those guys are
No.
crazy. Those guys are crazy.
Right on.
No, yeah, they're those guys were onto something else. Totally different level.
So something I always ask everybody, since I'm kind of a gear nerd, what is your favorite piece of gear that you have, or maybe instrument that you own? Something that you're.
Probably this guy here. I mean, this is like my only. I mean, not like my only, but this is like the only guitar I ever really play. Practice, rehearsals, live, kind of goes with me everywhere. But other than that, been playing with some MIDI lately, so you know, any little like 2-octave thing that I can plug in and mess around with is fun. So.
Do you have a DAW you use, like Ableton or Logic or anything?
Just garage
Just
band.
whatever, yeah, hell
Just,
yeah.
just basic. Yeah.
So here's where they get a little bit more silly. These are some would you rathers. Would you rather have square wheels for feet or scissors for hands?
Oh. I'll take scissors for hands.
Scissors for
It's
hands?
it's a dangerous life, but you probably get a lot done, you know, if you were in the right field, you know, like.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'd say scissors.
Could be a surgeon.
That's,
you know?
yeah, Edward Scissors. You could always be like a double.
Yeah, just go on Broadway.
No elbows, or you would pass gas immediately every time you swallow.
Sorry.
So would you rather have no elbows or immediately pass gas every time you swallow?
Ooh. I say pass gas, because I feel like the elbow's like special because it's like the one place on your body where you can't feel pain.
the weenus.
Yeah.
Yes,
But,
I have a huge.
yeah, I mean, you can pinch it like pretty good, and it's like, you know,
It's disgusting.
it's like a living testament. So it's like if you got rid of the elbows, I mean,
Okay.
it's saying a lot. Yeah.
Right. This one was a little silly. I was reading up some of these questions earlier. Would you rather have, when your hair grew, spaghetti for hair, or your poo to be ice cream?
I'll take the spaghetti hair. I'll take the spaghetti hair.
Spaghetti hair.
Yeah.
Good.
I'll take spaghetti hair.
I think so too, because even if the ice cream was good, I don't think I'd want to eat it.
Yeah, and I couldn't serve it to anybody, you know, honestly, at least.
All right. Would you rather? This is more interesting, more music based. Would you rather live the life of Willie Nelson or Mariah Carey?
Ooh. And oh man, I hate to use the word crazy, but you know, Willie Nelson, he wrote the song Crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, that song, you know. Mariah, I feel like, kind of gone a little crazy, you know. I feel like low key Willie, you know.
Right on.
On like a high day, you know.
Hell yeah.
I'll take Mariah.
I was thinking about that question too, and the only thing was just the vocal range, to be able to experience that feeling, like. Because what I don't know. I've always felt like, man, if I could just hit these notes, like my soul would like.
You're talking to someone who knows that feeling, yeah. Yeah, you know, Willie's kind of my guy.
Right on.
But you know, yeah, to experience
Live the life of Willie.
To experience that glass shattering ability would be, yeah.
Right on. Okay, I got one more. Would you rather? And then I have the last question for you. So this is kind of a wordy one. So hopefully you can follow. So this is for the rest of your life. Would you rather have every song in the world only be sung by Sam Whalen? So every time you heard anything from here on out, if you turn on the radio, it could be whatever artist it was, but it was sung by Sam. Or or not have Sam sing the songs. But the only way you could listen to music again would be through earbuds that were guaranteed to be jerked out of your ear at least one time during every song randomly.
I'll give Sam this one.
Dude,
Sam's good.
I was wearing earbuds earlier, and fuck if they didn't get jerked out of my head like 10 times today.
No. It's like,
Yeah, I was like, this is the question.
this is the worst thing ever.
Yes,
This is-
it's true.
Nah, yeah, I'll give this one to Sam. I would love to hear his take on some Beyonce. So.
Hell yeah. All right, I got one last question for you. I kind of asked this to everyone as well. Is any advice that you want to give any young artists or anybody you think, anybody who's just pushing their way through this industry and might be losing hope, and just anything you want to tell somebody to motivate them?
Oh man, don't wait. Get out there. Get to it. Don't, you got to do it. I forget who it was. Someone was like, I forget, some famous professor or something. I forget his name. He said, he always used to finish his classes or whatever at the end, saying like, which one of you is going to write the next great novel or whatever, And they'd all get a good chuckle out of it. And his whole thing was like, well, no one's going to do it until one of you does it. So get to it.
Yeah, so get to it. Right on. Well, Austin, thank you so much for being a part of this.
Oh,
Yeah, man.
no.
We're going to get to some music. We're going to get all that rolling here. Thanks again, buddy.
Sweet.
Yeah.
This one's called Dangerous Climb.
It's a dangerous climb up to my mind, but darling, please don't turn around. If your heart is racing, the feeling you're chasing, then don't stop now. It's a risky start to tame this heart, but lover, I plead, don't you frown. Just let me be forgiven for all the trouble I've given you for trying. 'Cause everything is perfect when you're near. I feel like I'm walking on thin air. And all I ever wanted was to need someone. But such is the delicate tightrope that we dance upon. Oh, it's a scary bridge to cross alone. Whatever you do, don't look down. Each step getting closer, this wild adventure is almost over. 'Cause everything is perfect when you're near. I feel like I'm walking on thin air. And all I ever wanted was to need someone. But such is the delicate tightrope that we dance upon.